Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video, brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, folks, today's date, May 21st. That's a Wednesday, 2014. We're just about to get the Fed minutes out at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We have about 3 minutes to go until then. We'll see the market reaction during this video if there is any. Right now, the markets have reversed yesterday's down day, are trading right back to Monday's highs. And again, we're just seeing this choppy sideways action that really, to me, tells me the markets are preparing for their next move. So think about it like this. The market's action of up one day, down the next, up the next, is very reminiscent of kind of a market that doesn't know which way. It's the indecision, right? It kind of makes sense. You kind of think it's this way, then the market thinks it's that way, and then it thinks it's this way, that way, back and forth. And it's telling you that it's trying to figure out which direction it's going to go. Eventually, it will find that out and make that move. But at least in the short term, especially coming into a holiday weekend where the volume's going to get lighter and lighter, you have to think the market's going to do its best to hold up from any major selling until after the holiday break. So again, volume today, 51.6 million at 2 o'clock, 2 hours to go until the market has closed. That is very light volume. Looks like it's going to be lighter volume than yesterday. Yesterday we just did over 100 million. On Monday's update, we did the lightest volume the entire year. So if you go back any day this past in 2014, Monday was lighter than any day prior. That's pretty amazing to me, in fact. I think that's astounding to see as the market goes up. There's just this huge lack of buyers. Right, there's enough to lift the market because there's no sellers. But basically what it's telling you, when the market goes up on light volume, it just tells you that institutions aren't buying. Because institutions have big money, right? If they were going to buy, they'd be creating a lot more volume than the lightest trading day of the year here. Okay, so that's where we stand right now. Again, please notice the double top here from Monday. Notice the pivot high right here. Good shorting opportunity. Markets fell back off of that down to the 20, then recovered back up. And again, we haven't made a new high, but markets are now going sideways, consolidating, which again could signal a potential move up later today, maybe as soon as we get the Fed minutes out in about 2 minutes' time. All right, interesting little note here. We are seeing the Dow stocks, right? So the Dow stocks right now are bouncing back. They've been the ones that have been beaten down the last few days, and we are seeing a pretty dramatic move back to the upside. And right now, again, with the S&P up 11, Dow up 140, NASDAQ up 25, we're seeing stocks like Chevron. All right, Chevron up about $1.58. That's a very strong move. Look at that move up today. All right, much more vertical than if you look at the S&P 500 via the SPY chart. See the choppiness there? And so again, this stock, if you go back to Chevron's intraday, Chevron's really been under a lot of pressure. Look at this fall recently. So it's getting a bounce back, but look at this high pivot, and then just look at that. So here's your pivot high. Look at where you're running into resistance. If it gets through that point, you're going to look at this area and then ultimately gap fill right here. All right, so these are your next key levels. These are your resistance levels on the Chevron chart, and just something we want to pay attention to here. All right, JP Morgan Chase today, intraday, you can see it has pulled back, and this is kind of interesting because JPM had this great move intraday early in the day and has since fallen back, pretty much giving up a majority of its gains. It's still up a little bit on the day. Oh, guys, 2 o'clock just hit. Dollar yen just started to drop a little bit. Let's just jump back to the SPY and see what we have. So far, no major move. Dollar yen just popped down, then reversed back up. Now let's see if the markets can move up. If the dollar yen starts popping, I would expect the market to move up a little bit and break out. So let's watch here. And again, let me flip back to the dollar yen chart, which is basically the dog wagging its tail, which would be the market. And you can see it had a nice flush here. We're starting to see a little selling coming in here at 2 o'clock as the minutes have just been released. And let me see if there's any headlines on these minutes. Fed focuses on exit but makes no decision. Okay, so that's the latest here. Fed minutes flexibility on exit plan seen as key. Fed focuses on exits, but there's been no decision again. Many see inflation at the Fed stabilizing, even though we've seen a jump lately. Number of Fed officials see downside growth risks increasing, so people are starting to realize here that there might be some more, at least the Fed officials seem to be realizing that the economy is not as strong as they would hope, which again, right now it's not having a major impact on the market. Let's just jump back to the SPY and see if we've got any sort of major move. Yeah, really minimal move, guys, thus far. Now, it's still just literally a minute ago was released, so we have to see if there's any sort of move that comes in after this. But right now, and you can see the markets are starting to see a little bit of selling. My guess is you're going to get about 15, 20 minutes of volatility, then back into float mode, and float mode should carry us through into Friday, into the holiday weekend. And again, let's see again if we start to break down. Right now, notice the 20 MA and this trend line are holding the market above. Let's see if we get below here in the short term. So interesting stuff, really fun, interesting stuff going on here. It's always nice to do a video when you get some sort of action alert, news breaking on the markets, especially from the Federal Reserve. All right, a couple other stocks out there to look at today. So we are seeing, again, Dow stocks are rallying today more than NASDAQ. We're seeing a little weakness. So, for instance, one stock that's somewhat on the weaker side is Twitter. Twitter's down about 1.5%. But I have to say this, and again, I'm not going to reveal what I did in the research center, but for those of you that are intelligent, you might be able to figure it out. But if you look at the daily chart on Twitter, it's actually not a bad chart setup. The daily chart here, reversal to the upside here on the bounce on a volume flush out, and then a slow fade on very light volume. To me, that tells me there might be some upside there. So if you want to know exactly what I did, join the research center, take the 7-day free trial, and you'll get that exact alert that I put out earlier today, something for us to watch here on the Twitter sphere. All right, what else do we want to look at here? Yahoo, how's Yahoo performing? Remember, Alibaba is still supposed to come out sometime in the next few months. And sure enough, a little bit of an uptick there on Yahoo today. Not much, though. Again, you can see how, compared to the market, a lot of these Yahoo, these Nasdaq stocks are a little on the weaker side. One stock that isn't weak today is Baidu. And again, a little trend line there can be erased. But notice how it's breaking back above these three moving averages. That's actually a strong move on Baidu. Let's take a look at Sina, S-I-N-A. S-I-N-A is still trying to put in a little bit of a bottom here. This could also be a bearish pattern, so we're not, as traders and investors, we're not sure if this is bearish yet or bullish yet. But one thing we want to watch, see how the 20 is sloping into price? You want to see, does it pop above and close above the 20, or does it start to break down? And depending on what it does, that should tell you within a day or so, because the 20 is into current price, which direction it's going to go. Okay, so just something to figure out and continue to watch there. There could be a great trade here, either short or long on Sina, S-I-N-A. But again, you need to watch current price here to figure that out. Let's just go back to the spiders and just see what else is going on here. I just want to see. Looks like we've kind of bounced back up. I mean, we're kind of just in that general range still. Yeah, yep. Now look at this. You're starting to break out. Look at the dollar yen pop here. U.S. dollar JPY. Look at this. Dollar yen's popping. And that's a good thing for the market. The market goes higher when the dollar yen popped, and you just got a initial sell-off, which we saw, and now the dollar yen's ripping, and so is the market. So the markets are popping here. Not a huge pop, but a little bit of a potential, I should say, potential breakout on this chart. And that should, my guess is this. The Fed wants this market to move up into the holiday weekend, so you probably don't see a lot of upside, but a little bit. And that's, look at this as the market goes. And think about it like this. Logically, the Fed wants the markets to end nicely into the holiday weekend so people buy, right? You want consumers out buying, especially after the retail sales have been so horrendous. And sure enough, we're seeing that exact price action that would denote that. All right. So good stuff there, guys. And again, liking what I'm seeing here across the board. Next resistance that's going to be scalpable on the spiders. A little bit of a pivot high right here at the 187.15 level. So 187.15, if we were to pop right into that, you might get a quick day trading scalp. Aside from that, your next level would be right here at 189.45. So you see that little pivot low right there also matching up with this area right here. So some interesting stuff, but markets, again, beautiful little move to the upside. First Solar stocks for the most part doing pretty well. First Solar having a nice day here. Actually, a little bit of a bullish, kind of a micro bearish, but overall macro bullish, trying to break up here a little bit on that stock. And what else do we want to look at? Apple. How's Apple doing today? Apple's pretty weak. I mean, it's up a little bit. Bullish pattern of consolidation here, but it's only up $1 when the markets are doing much better today. So that's showing us a little bit of a lag on Apple's chart today. By the way, Hewlett-Packard, which reports earnings, I think tomorrow after the bell, trading down on the day, so that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Other stocks that are doing well today with the Dow, you have DuPont. We talked about Chevron already. Exxon's having a nice day. Disney's having a good day. Boeing's having a good day. And again, you can see right here, DuPont up about 60 cents. After, again, this is another stock that's been weak of late. from this move down, but it's trying to recover as the Dow is recovering as well. Flipping back one final time to the SPY, folks, you can see you're starting to stall here a little right around that 189 level. Got to 189.08. My level was 189.15. Maybe it pops back up there in the next few minutes. That'll be some resistance on the market. And again, folks, at this stage of the game, I'm going to leave you at that. But come take the 7-day free trial to the Research Center. Come join the Research Center. Get the alerts. We give out live alerts. You get text, email alerts. Profits so far this year, again, topping about 170% net profits, about 17%, even if you only put 10% of your portfolio in each one of the trades, about 17%, which is unbelievable. Really, if you think about it, considering the markets are sideways to choppy for the whole entire year, if you could be up almost 20% for the year, that's not a bad return. My goal is to do 50% for the year, net with 10% invested only in each play, which would be a 500% net return. All right, come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. We'll talk to you all soon. Take care.